What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of Terry McLaurin's best route running for this 2020 season so far. We're going to be talking about how to run a whip route, how to run this squirrel route, and we're going to be taking a look at that the best we can, and then we're going to be talking about how he works this slant release when a DB jumps to the outside, okay? So first things first here, we're going to talk about this whip, okay? And also, guys, if you guys have any video requests that you'd like to see me do, maybe something that you're confused on, a player that you'd like to see me break down, leave those in the comments. I'm trying. I know some of you have left some feedback and some stuff like that, and I'm trying to get to all of those, definitely. It's just a matter of getting filmed. But if you guys have any video requests, leave those in the comments. I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible and hopefully get a video out for you guys. So yeah, if you guys have any videos you'd like to see, any player you'd like me to break down, leave that in the description. Let's get started, or leave that in the comments. Let's get started. So we're going to be looking at this whip route here from McLaurin, and he's going to be selling this thing pretty good to the inside with his speed. That's going to be number one. And how he's able to change direction off of going full speed is being able to drop his hips. Okay, so let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So he comes out here, breaks to the inside, sells with his eyes, and then he snaps this thing off and gets out of this whip in like 2 steps. Okay, so that's the tricky part that a lot of people struggle with, is being able to get out of this whip in 2 steps and still being able to generate force back to the sideline. Okay, so let's watch this thing here. So when he comes off, he just sells like this 1-step slant. You see how he commits his eyes and his shoulders and his hips, right? Those are all 3 that we got to have. But when we snap my eyes, that's what can get this linebacker, that's what can get a corner, that's what can get a safety, maybe if he's walked down to jump this route, right? Any defender to jump this route if we sell with my eyes, but at the same time, we got to keep speed, we got to keep shoulders, and we got to sell with my body language. Those are the big 3. Speed, eyes, body language. Those are the 3 that you got to sell on any kind of double move or any kind of whip route concept. So now, when McLaurin comes out here and he breaks, it's 1, 2, 3rd step is when he's snapping down and he's dropping those hips, and he's going to be hooking his outside leg to where his hips should be facing the quarterback, right? That's number 1. We want to be able to snap and then hook the leg around, and you see how he keeps a 45-degree almost shin angle with this leg that hooks around, right? Because that's what can generate force, and that's what can push him out towards that sideline. That's the number 1 goal. You snap on that inside leg, you hook the outside leg, and you push it back towards the sideline, okay? That's number 1. That's got to be the most important thing that you guys do anytime you guys are dropping on a whip route. Whether you're selling it off a 3-step slant where you go 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3 again, it's the same concept. You snap on the inside and you hook the outside leg. Now, again, I've seen it done the other way, where guys snap with the outside leg first. They'll snap, they'll pivot, and then they'll drive, kind of like they're snapping at the top of a curl or a comeback, right? Which is fine. I get that. But I think that this is more efficient because you get out in 2 steps, right? You look at a guy like McLaurin, who runs this route very well. You look at a guy like Cole Beasley. He's another great example. They're able to get in and out of this break. Debo Samuel, in and out of this break in 2 steps. They're able to just drop, and they're out of this thing, right? So that's what we got to be able to do. So you want to make sure that we stay in an explosive position, because that's what gives you that energy to shoot back to the sideline, right? You get low on that inside snap. You hook that leg around. Okay, I'm in a low explosive position. I'm lower than the defender. The low man is going to win. Now we want to use that pad level and use that shin angle to push. You see how he's pushing off of this right leg, and he's using his arms to drive him out, because the whole goal is to widen the gap from this linebacker right here. Widen this gap, shoot out towards the sideline, and try to get as much separation as we can. Great job making this catch too as well, and taking that picture frame with his eyes. Everybody always asks, well, what can I do to improve my hands? What can I do to improve my hands? Anytime you're catching this football, you want to think of it like you're in that picture frame. Just bam, you're taking that picture of the ball as you're catching that thing. You want to see the ball hit your hands. That's something I've been saying recently to the receivers that I work with, is that see the ball hit your hands. That, for whatever reason, that kind of helps them process it better. That's something that you should think of, because so many guys look it in and then they move their eyes. They look it into their hands and then they're worried about getting upfield. See the ball, hit your hands, take that picture, be in that picture frame right there on that catch. Let's watch it again full speed one more time. Great job coming off here, selling like he's doing 1-step slant, get across his face, snap it off, and make sure we accelerate out. Great job by McLaurin using that to get space. So now we're going to be looking at this out, up, and then snapping it off, kind of like this squirrel route variation. Great job coming back to the ball here, okay? He's at the bottom of the screen if you guys couldn't see this. So bottom of the screen, biggest thing about this out, up, and then back out, or out, up, stop, however you want to think of it, or out, up, come back. You see, like guys, you see the Chiefs work that a lot with Tyreek Hill. It's very important that you guys got to understand that an out and up and then a basic out sets up this route beforehand, right? Maybe you're an out and up heavy team. Maybe you guys have worked this like a lot during the season. Defenses are starting to get your tendencies. They're starting to understand the routes that you guys like to run, and then we come at them with this. But it's so important as a receiver and as a route runner that we make it look the exact same. You want to make the out and up and the out up stop or out up curl or squirrel route, to make a long story short, it's got to look the exact same at a certain point, right? So there's a great job by McLaurin here when he works this out, breaks it off, snaps those eyes around, 1, 2, 3, breaks it off again. And now here's the thing though, you see how This works because it's a squirrel route, but if we were trying to go out and up, basic out and up here, this would not get us enough separation. Why do you guys think? Because you see how his hips aren't fully committed towards the sideline. He breaks and he's like drifting upfield with his hips. He's snapping. That's why we got to have all three. That's why that big three, like I was talking about. You see how his eyes are back looking for the ball, but his hips and his shoulders are both upfield. That ain't going to make this DB bite, right? When you're able to snap those hips and eyes around at a 90-degree angle, especially on an out and up, and then you break it off, that's what's going to get him greedy to undercut it, because you got to be able to commit your hips and your shoulders. Now, it's an out-up stop route, so maybe we do want to get him sitting on this out and up anyway. So it's not a big deal in this particular route. However, we want to try to make everything look the same, right? I'm a firm believer that if we make it all look the same, it's very hard to prepare for that. And so if he could commit his shoulders and his hips to the sideline just a little bit more, that will get this DB in. That'll draw this DB in a little bit more, which sets up the out and up. But again, we're not running an out and up. And he breaks off of that step there, pushes vertical, gets that DB to run with him. Now we got to make sure that when we drop, what do we need to do with the drop? You got to be violent with your hips. Anytime I'm breaking down a stop route, comeback route, curl route. And here's the thing too. How far is he downfield, right? He's going to be breaking this thing off at about like what, the 30, 32? Where did they start? They started on the what? They started on like the 15-yard line. So that's 15 yards downfield, right? At least 15 yards downfield. You cannot make a 15-yard break downfield on a dime without dropping your hips violently. All the people all the receivers coaches who set up like the 85 cone drills and they just have you run back and forth like this and you run in a zigzag pattern and you're just chopping down, you never get to full speed. That's not going to help you in this situation. It just won't. It's just a drill to get you sweating, right? We're not out there to sweat. We're actually out there to get technique better, right? So when you guys are working, let's work on changing direction with my hips. Let's work on actually running full speed into a break like McLaurin does here. And you see how he drops his hips, right? You see, look at his chest. His chest drops and he's violent with those hips because that's how we decelerate, right? And if I could decelerate fast, we're going to be faster than the DB simply because he doesn't know what we're doing. He has no idea what we're doing. That's a fact. That's why DB's so hard, especially in the NFL. That's why the NFL is such a hard game to play, because especially as a DB, because they're guessing 24/7. So as a receiver, let's take advantage of that. Let's make sure that all my crap looks the same. Every single route I run looks the same. And when I change direction, it's on a dime, and I'm accelerating out, and I'm going back to this ball. That's a great route here by McLaurin. Let's watch it again, full speed one more time. Again, if you guys are trying to work just an out and up, you better commit your hips and your shoulders, because you see directly on this video how they will not jump the route if you just peek back with your eyes. Commit your shoulders, commit your hips, and your eyes, and speed. Let's watch it again, full speed one more time. So good job here, breaking to the out, 1, 2, 3, breaks it up vertical, snaps on a dime, drops those hips violently. That's how we got to be able to play this thing. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about how when you hesitate and you got a DB and it looks like this like catch technique, how you can get a read on him and what you need to do when you react off of him, right? You got to have a plan, right? So you got to have a reactionary plan. So let's watch this thing full speed. So you see McLaurin kind of slow plays it. DB jumps to the outside. Let's just take what he gives me, right? So I'm talking about two different scenarios here. So what do we immediately off the line, what we should be thinking, and this has got to be a habit, fellas. This has got to be something where you just think right when you walk up to the line, okay, I'm going to do this. Bam, let's go. And that comes from preparation throughout the week. Preparing, you see a guy on film, you know that that's the DB you're going to be going against. You should know him like the back of your hand. He likes to play in this situation like this. He likes to play in this situation like this. And if you know you see this coverage a lot, how about in practice we start working this kind of a release where I attack this guy. I close the gap with him. I attack his midline. That's how you prepare week to week, right? Anybody could walk out there and just talk about, or any coach could just do breakdown film like how I break down film and just be like, oh yeah, he did this and this and this. It's like, okay, great, yeah, but like why did he choose that? What's the reasoning behind it? The reasoning behind it is because this is something that he probably saw on film all week. He came into the game with a plan to work this release when he saw this situation because he knew it would work, right? That's how you guys got to approach every single week, especially you high school guys. You high school guys, it should be easy because I guarantee you these DBs aren't going to be thinking like that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And when you face some higher level DBs that are going to go to some big schools, not just some high school guy that will never play after that again, those are the guys that you got to prepare for like this because they're going to be good. They're going to be physical, and you got to have a plan going into the game as to how you're going to beat them, right? Because honestly, it's not that complicated. They can't come out with 10, 20 different looks. We can. They got to do what the defensive coordinator calls. We can come out and we can do a lot of different releases. There's so many different things in our tool belt that we could come out with, right? So what he does here is he walks him down. You see how he gives a little hesitation, skip, hesitation, walk. What does that DB do? He gives him the inside. So let's just take the inside, right? Let's just take the inside. I make this quick jab to the outside and I go. Now what if I come out and I close this DB down and he drifts to the inside? Then I hit him with a right left. I go 1, 2, and I try to get him to jump to the outside or maybe be a little off balance and open up that gate, and then I rip back underneath. So it's all about reaction. You come off the line anytime you're closing the gap with this DB and you're being patient, be slow. Try to not be slow, but you know what I mean? Be patient, but quick at the same time. Get a read on him. He jumps to the outside. Let's take the inside. He takes the inside. Let's throw a 1, 2. But that's how we got to play this thing. Great job by McLaurin being able to react off of this DB's leverage, okay? So that's a great job. And again, receivers, you got to understand how you can prepare for DBs and when to execute this stuff. Let's watch it again full speed. So he comes off the line, gives that jab to the outside, make sure we accelerate. Great route here by McLaurin. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments. Again, if you have any video requests, anybody you want to see me break down, leave those in the comments below as well. And guys, if you're a receiver and you want to get better hands, you want to improve your catching ability, check out that link in the description. It says improve your hands in 30 days. I'll see you guys next time.